and possibly look at independent testing to clearly demonstrate that those quality criteria have been met. So, to reiterate, testing validates that the right thing's been built and verifies that it's been built right. Who accepts the various products and services that are being delivered is also very important. We've previously specified the acceptance criteria, the entry and exit criteria to these quality gates that we looked at in the diagram earlier. And we should have contracted our supplier to support the acceptance phase. So the contract should have those clear acceptance criteria. We need to know how it's going to integrate into existing systems. We need the support of the supplier. And we need both IT and the business to work together to ensure that acceptance is of those things that we specified in the contract and we specified in the quality gates. So you should only accept it at the end if it matches what you defined at the beginning. But if you follow this best practice process, I'm absolutely convinced, I'm absolutely certain that you will get to this point and be able to accept what you see. Okay, measurement. We talked a lot about quality gates, about the things we need to put in. It's absolutely vital that we can measure what we do. There's two aspects to this. Metrics are identified when agreeing the contract, and also metrics that you would want in any IT project. The sorts of things I'm talking about are during the test planning, test analysis, test design and test build. What's our progress of test preparation? During the actual performance of our execution of tests, what's our progress of test execution against planned tests against actual tests performed? What coverage are we achieving and what risk is remaining? And you can only do this if you've got traceability back to the requirements and the design. Is it good enough to pass through the next quality gate? You should also be recording simple things like the number of defects found and fixed by severity, the defects found and not fixed by severity, breakdown of defects by root cause, leakage of defects from stage to stage, i.e. defects you've allowed to pass from one quality gate to another, or defects that you've found after a quality gate, speed of defect resolution, and timely reporting. I really like this quote. This quote from George Bernard Shaw says, "The only man who behaves sensibly is my tailor. He takes my measurements anew every time he sees me, while all the rest go on with their old measurements and expect me to fit them. Don't allow your supplier not to behave like your tailor. Make sure that you define the measurements and that what you get back fits you and your business organisation and your operating model well." So, how do I govern against the contract? This isn't specific to outsourcing, but it becomes more important when you are outsourcing that governance is carried out effectively. There's absolutely no point in agreeing a brilliant contract if the relevant governance activities aren't carried out. I'm getting another question in. How do I know if my supplier is giving me accurate information? It's a very good question, and again, I'm going to try and answer it now. You need to define compliance criteria up front, as I've already said, and perform regular but probably informal audits of compliance. Ultimately, as I said earlier, you want to develop a win-win here, a partnership rather than a customer-supplier relationship, such that both parties are open, honest and transparent with each other about the good, the bad and the ugly. And as the outsourcing relationship matures and progresses, the supplier and the customer should allow each other to drill down into specific data, access each other's designs, requirements, and probably share a test management tool, or at least allow each other into each other's test management tools to look at defect data. The most successful outsourcing arrangements I've seen have shared a common repository for all these things between the client, the customer, and the outsourced supplier. Earlier on I said to fail to prepare is to prepare to fail. But to prepare well and then fail to govern invites failure back in. Absolute folly to define a good contract and then not govern it closely. So, in conclusion, you really do need to understand why you're outsourcing. Is it cost? Is it growth? Is it business change? You need strong management, and that strong management needs to involve your business and your IT people as a client, as well as the outsource provider. You can't give a problem away and expect it to be delivered back to you successfully. It's not a silver bullet. If your own processes are poor, don't outsource them. Get them in order first and then outsource. If you put effort in up front, in static testing, in defining a good contract, it will increase your chance of success in the relationship going forward, and it will become a partnership. You do need to focus on quality at all stages of the life cycle, entry and exit criteria, quality gates. Testing isn't a bolt-on, and you shouldn't treat it as one. You need to be strong and rigorous with those quality gates and the measurements. And above all, don't accept the unacceptable. In summary, do it right or don't do it at all. And on that note, I'm going to hand back to Stephen to conclude the webinar. Thank you for your time and attention. Stephen will explain how we'll take questions going forwards. Thank you again.